Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatchTix.com. I've got a SENBONO box here. Believe it or not, they are in the 11th installment of their Max series of smartwatches. And if you've been watching the reviews here, you've seen each and every one of them get better and better, and this is no exception. It's the best yet. This thin little thing right here is a full AMOLED screen smartwatch with Bluetooth calling. It just goes on and on. And I'm about to show you, after I tell you, you can pick it up from the SENBONO official store over here on AliExpress. Under 30 bucks, look at that, amazing. What's it got in it? Well, a lot of stuff. Bluetooth version 5, for example, for really good telephone calling and music streaming from the watch. You got heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep monitoring, all the standard stuff. You've got a lot of different activities tracked. You've got distance tracker, calories, active tracker. You've got an AMOLED screen, like I said, with beautiful always-on screens. I really, really like these. I just want to wear it just for the always-on screen alone. Resolution super high, 466 by 466 pixels in a 1.43-inch round screen. Nice. Life waterproof on this one, 220 to 300 milliamp hour battery. I don't know how they decide what to put in it, but they're saying it's in that range, I guess. Anyway, decent watch overall. These are the different languages supported. And as we go deeper into the box, we find we've also got a little manual and a charging wire. The charging wire itself, standard 2-pin magnetic couple that attaches to the bottom, and not terribly strong to hold the watch, but it does connect for charging. You have removable bands on it as well, a single button on the side, microphone and speaker on it. Inside, the manual, which we have in English and Chinese. It basically tells you a little bit about how to get started with this one, how the keys work, the QR code for downloading the Tethering app, and we will have that, of course, a link to that one in the show notes. It's the CoFit app. It's sometimes referred to as CoFit Pro, but they went back to just the basic CoFit app, even if you search on CoFit Pro. It's an interesting app. You've got breathing, stopwatch, calculator, sporting activities, dials to choose from, a calendar on this one, and of course heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen. And that's it for the English version of the manual. Let's take a look at it. This is an easy one, only one button on the side. Obviously, we press that one, hold it to get it to light up and turn on. There it comes, no vibration felt, says hello, and it's immediately into a watch face. Now, this particular face is one I downloaded from the store because it matches perfectly with the analog version of the always-on display, which you're looking at right now. Isn't that gorgeous? I want the watch just for that. I mean, walking around with that showing all the time, definitely going to get attention. However, the watch face itself is great, and of course you can get any other face by tapping and switching to a whole variety. Some bright ones, some dim ones, some digital ones, some analog ones. Great collection of different faces on this. When you slide down, folks, you get a bunch of information, date, time, your connectivity to the phone, battery power level, forecasts, or current weather conditions in your area. A lot of different stuff here you can see on the side. You've got this button that will turn the screen on and leave it on for 5 minutes, which is going to make it easier for the review. Otherwise, it'll go off and into the analog display. So if you want to use the watch and let it stay on while you're doing it, that's a great button to have. That's your Bluetooth tethering. This is alarms and such. This is your overall brightness, and as you can see, it's pretty bright. There's dimmest, and when you're outdoors, look at that. It's completely washed out. They look like white circles, but they're not. They have the little display in them. In fact, I got to go down to the one button up in order to be dim enough that it won't wash out on the screen for this recording. Here's a QR code. We're going to let you download that from the show notes if you want. A lot easier that way. You get it from the Google Play Store. This is your overall settings, and this is where you can adjust the brightness, put a password on here if you want to. Go into Do Not Disturb. There's a auto sync for the languages, and it'll pick that up from your phone, or you can change to a language separate from what your phone is on. Whole variety of different menu styles. We're looking at the linear text kind right now. You have the system menu going really slow. That's basic, power off, factory reset, and reboot standard. You've got the secondary dial, and this is our standby dial. We've been looking at the pointer or analog. Let's go to the digital one. So next time it times out, you can see what that one looks like. You have a choice of 2 that you can use for always on. And then about tells you that we're looking at the Max11. I can't believe it. We're up to the 11 already. And that was all of the settings right there. Do not disturb. So a lot of things you can do here. Swiping up, you get notices sent from your phone if you have any. Off this way now, you get this is great. Nice layout. There's your forecast information, your weather. You can go into mobile music immediately right here without having to find the music player. And then a list of your recently used apps and a total of your step count, heart rate, and calories burned, all in that one screen. So all you need to do, guys, is do this and you got it all. But if you want to go individually, over here is your information. Doesn't scroll up, it's just showing you the circles completing your distance, calories, and time. Here's continuous heart rate. You can see where your highest reading was from midnight to present. And of course, it's going to be taking a reading right now. As long as you wear it or cover the diodes, it'll give you your current reading down there. Come again, we got blood oxygen measurement using red diode technology, which is, of course, the more advanced way of doing it. And then you got stress. And this is interesting. It's looking, I believe, more at heart rate variability. It again is using green diode technology. It'll give you an instantaneous reading. It's not doing it continuous, but individual readings if you want to check in on your stress. Last night's sleep information total. Come up here, you got deep, light, and awake time shown as well. And this completing circle is against your goal. So I think I have an 8-hour goal, so I got that far around the circle. Here we go, your current, I just changed the degree outside. This is your current temperature and situation. UV indexes on here. Weather forecast broken down in the next few days. And check this out. You also have wind speed, humidity, visibility, rainfall in your area, all on this thin little AMOLED screen watch. Very impressive indeed. Here's the mobile music, and this is now where we can test out what the speaker sounds like, because I got some music queued up on the phone. That's coming out of the phone. Let's switch it over here to the watch. Okay, you hear it? Pretty decent. Nice and rich. Volume's up all the way. Of course, you can go forward or backward, whatever you'd like to do. It's right here, so I can mute it simply by touching it, and that'll block it. Yeah, phone calls, everything. It's got a good rich bass sound to it. It's not too high and tinny. And of course, you can pause it if you want to as well. Come over here, ladies. It'll tell you where you are in your cycle if you set that up on the phone app. So casually glance at the watch in case you don't know where you are. This allows you to add anything else to these. And all the ones you see here are already in. We can also put the call menu if we want, and breathing exercises, 2 other apps that could be added. Oh, here we go. You can tap to start, and that will let you inhale and exhale to calm your breathing down and relax. I usually give you a test to let you know if it vibrates. Yes, it did right there on the breathing out. And inhale does not, but the breathing out does. Interesting. Haven't seen that before. It's usually both or none. But this one, okay, you get 1 vibration, so you can close your eyes and just gauge your own breath, I guess, or you can watch the bouncing ball there. You have the calling information, like I said, your contacts, call history, and dial pad. When you're tethered to the phone for making phone calls, you have access to being able to do all that. And it uses the SIM card in your phone, and the sound, of course, comes out of your watch. Really, really fun. There you go. There's the digital version of the always-on display, too. And, of course, that'll take you back where you were. Press again, will take you back to the home. You even have weather on this watch face. This is a nice one. Did we cover everything? I think so. We've gone that way, we've gone that way, we've come up, and when we press the button now, we get to all of the installed apps. We'll take it up to the top. There is no top. Look at that. It just loops and loops and loops. All right, we'll jump in. Here you go with your measurements. Heart rate, stress, we saw, sleep. It does have blood pressure, but it's not one of the cards that you loop through. When you go over here, again, it's the green diodes, as it always is with blood pressure. It'll give you your systolic, diastolic readings, and take those with a grain of salt. Compare them against any other measurements you've got. Make sure that they're accurate and represent what your readings are before you actually use this for anything other than entertainment, okay? It takes a while, so I'm just going to keep moving. There's the blood oxygen and the breathing, the notices, alarms, music. We've looked at all of that. Weather, the camera, remote camera, so you can use this to trigger taking phone calls. You can find your phone. Got a built-in stopwatch in this one. We usually do this test to see if you can bail out of it while it's running. Nope, that gives you a lap time. Yeah, so the only way to leave the stopwatch is basically to stop it, and then you can leave it. If you come back in, it is where you left off. So if you're timing something and taking a break, you can pause it in a sense, come back, start it back up right from where you left off. But it'll always show the stopwatch on the screen while you've got that going. Then you've got countdown timer in here that you manually set. Okay, no pre-canned ones. Sometimes you can scroll up and see some that are set for a minute, 5 minutes, things like that. World clock is kind of fun. You can have your local time. You can set other places. I've got London and New York in here. And this is, there's your Google Voice or Siri if you've got that. You come in here, you tap it, you can ask it questions, you can hear the answer come back as long as you're tethered to your phone. And then you got the stock market. We reviewed a watch a long time ago that had this. It's the same app applies, and you can put in whatever stock tickers you want and see what the current stock market reading is. We got a good day here. All of the techie ones are up. You can refresh it. It tells you the time that it did that measurement, and you can kind of keep an eye on your favorite stocks. And I believe you can even put your portfolios in if you're invested in mutual funds and things, but you have to explore that on your own. The standby dial, I so love the pointer dial, so I'm going to put that there. You saw you could switch it off if you don't want it. If you want to go black and save on your battery, you can do that. Basic settings, you've got a calculator in this one. Your overall themes, you've got calendar, not the Google calendar, but it does show you the days of the week and where you are. The call menu we saw. Sports, these are all the different activities. No GPS directly in this watch. You can get a track when you pair it to the phone and take it with you, but you got walking, cycling, climbing, lots and lots of different ones. Some of them are shown in here, and you can play with the others from the app itself. Here's your sports record if you have any that you've done, and then overall activities, your step count, which we saw too. And I think we have looped all the way around to where we're back to dial and contact for phones, and then you're back into all of your health measurements. Now we've covered the whole watch. Let's switch to the app. Again, the app is CoFit. It's called CoFit Pro sometimes, but CoFit is what they're using now. That's what the icon looks like in the Google Play Store. When you open it, you set up your own account, then you pair it to the watch, and you pair it for Bluetooth calling. You got to pair it twice, the app and like you'd pair headphones. You land on this opening status page where you have your step count for the day, every hour, marching ahead from midnight on. Your total number of steps, I guess, that hour, and your cumulative, I don't know why there's two, total steps and total steps of device, but that's here, day, week, and month, and you can go forward and back different days as well. Then you get into here, and you can see more sports. It's syncing right now. Let's go in here. This is our overall heart rate against these particular times for this particular sport activity. The pace, this is a walk I did, and your step frequency is shown along with your overall speed. That's pretty cool. I hadn't seen that when I did the walk, but I haven't looked at the information. There's chart, and then there's overall detail broken down, including average heart rate and pace. Nice, very nice. And that was walking, it said. Come in here to heart rate, and we've got, whoa, like every single reading. Some of them may be a little high and low. Some of the apps will average that stuff out. Other ones will show everything. So it's jumping from 50 up to over 110. When you're moving, your readings can sometimes be erroneous, so it's best to stop moving when you want to take your readings. But of course, if it's a continuous reading like this, you're going to get what you're going to get. That's how it's shown on this app. Blood pressure, we didn't really finish one. I haven't taken one, but you'll see a chart showing systolic and dystolic. I don't think I have one from yesterday either. No. Okay, well, that's where blood pressure would be. Blood oxygen, same thing. You'd see it in here. It's not doing continuous of either of those readings. Here's one from yesterday, 96. It's just a little dot on the screen. Last night's sleep time, we have light, deep, and awake. These are the awake times, light, deep. No REM sleep on this, but totals are here. So not the full scientific sleeping with this one, where you get all of the details, including all of your REM dream time, but it does give you something. Here's stress monitoring. There's yesterday. I had one reading in here, so it shows up that way, and so forth. And again, it's incremental. And then weight, you just put that in yourself manually, and you can see your trajectory moving on weight and where you are in terms of thin, standard, or overweight. That's everything on the status page. You go to sport. This is your GPS, where you can activate outdoor, indoor, walking, running, cycling, and so forth. You activate that, you'll get your Google map with GPS from your phone contributing to it, and you can get a track on your exercise, but you got to take your phone with you. Here's your information, your basic profile, your name, gender. If you have the gender female, you'll be able to do the period tracking stuff, the device, and all of the information about it, including the watch face gallery. Lots and lots of faces in here. These are categories, and in these categories you have whole bunches of watches. Business, machinery, simple ones. It just goes on and on. Lots and lots of faces. For example, go into this category, and then here's a bunch of them. And this is where you can pick out what you like. I believe that's the one I synced that we've been looking at, because it matches nicely that ambient one. But others are very similar to it as well, or you might choose for digital or colorful. Very much up to you. Being that it's AMOLED, you're going to get really bright, beautiful colors on the screen too. This is where you activate all your notifications. You can give it permission for making incoming calls. You're losing the connection. Do not disturb, all those things. Toggle those on the watch, or you can toggle them here. Sedentary reminders, your imperial and your temperature units are there. Date format's even covered in this one. You can set your backlight for whatever time frame you want on here. That's your timeout. Raise the wrist to see the time. You can have it set over a certain period of time, so it's not doing it night, doing it while you're sleeping, for example, or you can just leave that off and have it do it all the time. Heart rate settings, period tracking, firmware update if you've got any. Here's where you set up the stock market information, which things you want to track simply by adding something to it. That's pretty fun. Your overall world clock, where you can add cities, and Alipay works in China. That's why you have password protection capability on the watch as well, if you're in an environment where Alipay will work. This is where you can switch the different themes for the app on the phone. I'm choosing the dark theme, easier to work with on the video, and in permission settings and about, and that's everything under that segment as well. So not a lot of really deep detailed charts and such, but it does give you your basic information within the app. Now I want to point out a little peculiarity of the watch. When it's got the always-on display working, the twist your wrist doesn't work, and touch the screen doesn't work. So to activate the watch, you have to press the button to get into the time, to do any of the other activities. You could, of course, turn this on, and that'll leave the watch on all the time for any of the other activities you're in. But if you don't and you let it time out, it's going to go into the always on display, and the twist your wrist doesn't work. Also, as you see, if you twist it, it'll go into that mode. However, if you turn the always on off, which is in the standby dial settings, we looked at that, turn that off, and we have to wait for it to time out because touching the button just toggles back and forth between your apps. But when it does, it's going to go black this time instead of into a dial face. And now, if you twist your wrist, it lights it up. Very interesting. I wish it would do it so that if it's even in always on display, you twisted your wrist, it would light up. But it doesn't. So I guess it's going to save overall battery power for you. And as soon as you turn it down, it turns it off. Okay? But if you want it always on, leave that always on display thing happening and you'll be good to go. So what about this one? I love it. I think it's a great watch. It's got the basic stuff you need. I can't get over how thin it is, being an AMOLED screen device. A decent speaker, microphone, streaming music, rich tone to the sounds, and a lot of different watch faces, including the one that you could put in from the store itself. There's an example of the beautiful colors that you can get on this. Isn't that sweet? So again, it's called the Max11. It's from SENBONO. Very beautiful watch. It's under $30. Going to have coupon for you, I'm sure. We've already got a $3 store coupon on it. So insanely inexpensive for a really beautiful AMOLED screen watch. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again soon.